Hey guys, today I wanted to show you how you can create two different books out of single pieces of paper. Now these books can be really cool to turn into little zines or magazines or even little comic books. The two books will get you two different sizes, or the two different patterns will get you two different sizes. You can see this one ends up being a lot smaller, but you can have a total of 14 pages in this book. This one's a bit bigger, but it will only get you 6. Okay, so let's talk about these two. I'm going to show you just on regular size printer paper. That's what I made these out of. They're actually pretty easy. I recommend you make your book first, then go back and add in your designs, your comic book, your story, whatever it is. So let's start with this one first. This one, again, it is just the 6 different pages, and then back cover and front cover. It's actually quite easy to make. Let me show you by taking this one apart. Boom. Okay, so to make this one, what we got to do is we are going to take our piece of paper and we're going to fold it into the different sections, slice it just in this middle section, and fold it up to create our full book. Let's get into it. All right, so again, I'm just using just regular printer paper. Let's just make this nice and easy. So the first thing we want to do is fold it in half, hamburger or hot dog style. Line up those corners. Crease, crease. Good. I always recommend open up between each fold. I think that makes your folds a lot more accurate. So we did one hot dog. Now we're going to go hamburger. Line it up and crease, crease. Now you have two options for this last one. You can fold it straight here, fold in half, or you can open up and fold to the center for each. Doesn't matter, they both will get you the exact same folds, just depends your preference. So I'm just folding those edges into the center. So we see when I open it up, I'm now 2 across by 4 down. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to fold it on this middle hamburger fold, and we are going to cut down, but we are only going to cut down one section. Do not go past that next fold. You're going to hold it together and cut. Try to cut as close to that fold as you possibly can. There we go. So again, only down to that other fold. And we're going to open it up. So again, we can see our cut is right there. Does not go off the edge. It's just in the center. Now, all you got to do for this is you will fold it in half, your hot dog style. So again, fold it in half. And then you just need to close this up like an accordion. So I'm going to squish these two together. I'm going to push it closed there, push it closed there. And then I just kind of smush to get everything to stick. Smush to get those nice folds. So we got 1, 2, 3, boom, there we go. It is that simple. So if you're going to want to make this type of book, I recommend, again, fold it up first, and then very lightly, just with a pencil, maybe small at the bottom, number your pages, especially so you know which side's top, what side's bottom, front and back cover. So when you open it up, you now know where your different pages are going to be located, and you can draw it a lot nicer and neater when it's all nice and flat. Flip it over to those 2 pages, then fold it back up when you're all done. So that is the smaller 6-page book. Now let's do the bigger in length, but smaller in size, 14-page book. Now if you notice, this one's a little less sturdy. So I recommend when you finish this one to glue some parts together. I'll show you that as we get into this. So this project, it's with the same size paper. I'm going to open it all the way back up so you can see what it looks like. And boom. Ooh, a lot more cuts, a lot more folds to this one. Now this one, everything except for the front cover and the back cover ends up on the same side. So let's get into this one. Again, just a regular Print your piece of paper is what I'm using. You can use any type of paper you have. It does not matter. For each direction, we are going to split it into quarters. So 4 across, 4 down. So let's start this way, hamburger style. So I'm going to fold in half, hamburger, line it up, crease. So that gives me half. Now I'm going to fold it again to give me quarters. Line it up, crease. Then I recommend unfold. So you should have 4 sections going across. Now we're going to go the other way. So hot dog, same thing. We're trying to get quarters. So I'm going to fold it in once, hot dog, line it up, line it up, there we go, crease, and again to get quarters, line it up, crease, open that up. So we see I have 4 sections across, 4 sections down. Okay, now when it comes to cutting this one, it's a little bit different. I'm going to just show you the marks with a marker real fast where you're going to cut. You do not need to go over it with marker. This is just so you can see. So we're going to look at it the long way, and we're going to cut up 3, then cut down 3, then cut up 3. So it's going to make this little maze going all the way around the entire thing. Okay, so we're going to take our scissors and we are going to cut on these lines, making sure not to go past. So only 3 each direction. And again, try to stay on those folds the best you can, slow and steady when it comes to cutting. 3, and back the other way. Up, 3. There we go. Okay, so now that we've cut, this one folding is a little bit different. For this, we're going to start at one end. Could be either one, does not matter. Maybe I'm going to start on this one, why not? And you're just going to accordion folds. You fold forward, backwards, forwards. That got us across. Now we're going to fold it behind, forwards, backwards, forwards, behind, forwards, backwards, forwards, behind, forwards, backwards, forwards. There we go, and that got us our book. So, as you see, it's definitely a bit more flimsy because we had those extra vertical cuts in there. Again, if we look at my one where I numbered it, you can see how the starting page, the cover, was on the back side, and then we work and we flip upside down on each row. Back covers on the back side as well. So since we flip so many times, that is why the book is not as sturdy as, say, this one. This one holds together a lot nicer. So I recommend, once you have drawn everything, so again, open it up, pay attention to your angles or your marks, draw out your entire comic strip, your story, whatever it is. Then you're going to want to get a glue stick. And we're going to glue some of these pages together just so it's not quite so flimsy. Okay, I'm going to use my side or my paper that has all the numbers on it just so you guys can see things a little nicer. Folding it back up the same. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I recommend glue stick, not liquid glue, just because it's going to be nicer. So those two, those open up just fine, but we see here, between 1 to 2, there's this extra bit on the back side of it that does not need to ever open up. So I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to put some glue and I'm going to glue those 2 sides together. So now page 1 and 2, the back sides are glued together. See how that's made a lot nicer little section. Okay, now the next ones, we see 3 and 4. They're not connected, but they can be. So I'm going to flip to the back side 3 and 4 I'm going to glue together. A little bit of glue, smush it down. Okay, so now I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that's nice. See how that's opening up really nicely like a book? We're going to continue that. So we see 5 and 6. We can go the back sides of those two. Smush them together. There we go. 7 and 8. It's going to be the vertical way. Glue, smush together. 9, 10. 11, 12. So you see, I'm just working through seeing, okay, what two sides, the back sides, get stuck together, putting some glue down, pressing it together. And then lastly, 13, 14. I can put these two together. So now that I've glued it together, all of a sudden it's making a much nicer book. It's not opening up. It's holding itself together. It's a lot neater. So again, I recommend do this step after you've drawn in your comic, your story, whatever it is. So that way you don't have to try to draw on folded pages. And then make sure you really take your time when you're gluing your sides together. I did it really fast, and you can see my edges don't really line up quite as nice as they could. So if you slow down, really take your time with the folding, with the cutting, you can get a much nicer design for that. So you got two different sizes of books created out of just a single piece of paper. Remember, if you had a bigger piece of paper, these could be larger sizes, but it's still going to be the same number of pages because it just purely depends on what design or template you use. So create some comic books, create a story, put some art into some books, and I'd love to see what you guys come up with. If you do this for a project, make sure you take a video going through every page, or you actually take a picture for each individual set of pages so I can see your entire story.